Hello everybody, welcome to a daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, supposedly it's on sync with Rumble. I try to check it once in a while, but yeah, it is what it is. Today not a lot of new stuff here, but we got some interesting stuff. But just a quick update regarding the XCOM thing. I posted on Twitter an update yesterday. I was kind of busy, and when I was uploading the episode, it was again like a little bit choppy, the footage there, so I didn't like, and meanwhile I will record the re-record the episode again because I was not able to fix the footage. I think it's from the recording itself. I don't know what's happened. I think it's mainly probably because of the mod stuff here. There will be like some issues, but I will try to keep on par. I will have to save more episodes here, but I will record today and upload it, and maybe today I will have the episode up. We will see. Keep yourself posted on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I like the birdie there of the Twitter stuff, so I'll keep it like this at the moment. And the logo it's more in line with the circular ones that like put an X here in the middle doesn't look like pretty good. But yeah, some interesting news here in terms of hardware. Nothing much, just same old, which is new versions of the same GPUs, mainly Nvidia stuff. But yeah, it will not change a lot of the current market here. So we got Glen Schofield, which is was CEO of Striking Distance, the Callisto protocols. They deemed a failure. I'm not sure about the numbers here, the exact numbers. Even though we know they had like a budget over 160 million for the game, there was like 5 million copies sold until now. I think it was 5 millions, if not mistaken, give or take. Yeah, 5 million units. It's here. Projected lower than it was projected, sorry, I misread that before I record this. So yeah, and they have some 32 devs or employees, better said like that, laid off, because not all employees are devs, but yeah, Glen Schofield is going to leaves Striking Distance, also with COO and CFO also departing here. We don't have names from them. Yeah, in his role of CEO is going to be Steve I'm going to butcher this, Patuzis, which is they work together since the original Dead Space, so they know each other. It was a voluntary departure from the statements that we have, but yeah, it's a shame. But sometimes what happens when you found a new studio and then the game doesn't project and doesn't deliver the way they were predicting, it can be a little bit rough. Sometimes they can kind of survive per se by having like achieving at least no losses, but I think by they projecting 5 million units, try to cover the budget of the game. I don't know if I think they went a little bit over budget from the news that I was covering before the game launched. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. If the Callisto protocol continues the IP, I suppose it does, because yes, from everything that I saw, I still didn't play the game. I don't have the game. It seems to have a lot of potential there. It's kind of a little bit different vibes from the Dead Space here. But yeah, I think it might have some possibilities to continue the IP. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's it was a little bit on the plague of the Unreal Engine, the shader-based stuttering. It affected a lot in this game and didn't help out at all. Plus the other stuff behind the scenes in terms of development and everything, and how they went about it. I think there was a lot of bugs that were a little kind of immersion breaking, and I think a lot of people didn't like pretty much the combat. I think they were expecting very much kind of the same combat that Dead Space, at least familiar with that, but it's not that much. And I think the fact that the FOV in third person was not the best, was very tight for the type of combat they were trying to achieve. I think, at least that's my perception. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But in other good news, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, Yeah, Phantom Liberty is the, the DLC. Sorry, now as Cyberpunk, I was thinking about why I call it Phantom Liberty. In my mind, it was like the name of the game was Phantom Liberty, but no, it's the DLC. I've been watching some reviews here, and kind of consensus is around between 8.5 to 9.2 or 9. Basically, what it does with this DLC, because with this DLC came up the 2.0 version of the main game. So the base game is at 2.0 update, and plus the Phantom Liberty, of course. It gives basically the feel of what the game should have been at launch a few years ago, basically, because the revamps they did in terms of gameplay, in terms of AI on the background, like the police system, the NPCs, even in terms of gameplay and how the perks, how they work out, and the UI and UX, I think it's called, user experience. All of that has been revamped to a certain degree. Of course, the other updates count as well, because they did a lot of upgrades in terms of how the game, the quality of the game. But the 2.0 is a huge step up. And yeah, you have the gameplay experience of shooting in a car, kind of similar to GTA. Which is one of those things that were promised. A lot of people were complaining that it didn't come out at the time with the game, but yeah, and plus the fact that the DLC seems pretty good, pretty solid in terms, especially on the story wise, how it's told, the espionage stuff, and how you have to go to this new area and deal with that. I don't know the story of Cyberpunk. I keep myself out of spoilers so far. I know it has Idris Elba as one of the main characters. Of course, Keanu is the Johnny Silverhand. Kind of know this very rough stuff from the story, but I don't know what it is regarding especially the main story. But yeah, I keep myself out of spoilers, and I managed to do so far. But yeah, it seems pretty good. I've got here from WCCF Tech, and then a little bit on the lower side, basically an 8.5, give or take. Here from Facts of Life, they basically supposedly didn't play since the launch of the game, so they played at launch and never played again, even though after all the updates they did to the game. So the reviewer got pleasantly surprised of all the patches that they did in the updates, how they manifest itself, and the difference between like the launch version basically to this 2.0 plus the Phantom Liberty DLC. It's good to see that the game at least improved from this butchered launch. I just hope that it can be a learning lesson to all the publishers and developers, that they are when they try to pressure to release a game even though it's not ready. Even the DLC seems to be pretty much kind of very polished, so it's not bug free, but it's very polished for what usually we can see as a DLC, which is always good news. And kind of in the thing here with Cyberpunk, we got Nvidia, because they talk about a little bit, reference the Cyberpunk game here. Again, this is corporate talk. Nvidia says native resolution gaming is out, DLSS is here to stay. What can I tell you? This is them selling their own technology. Of course, native resolution is dead, and has the fact that Jensen, the CEO, already told one time that mentioned that Moore law is dead, and afterwards said the Moore law is not dead after all. Yeah, but it was a discussion with Digital Foundry. I didn't see the episode. CRM Pedro Faladas, this is the Portuguese guy. It's like the owner of PC Master Race. And this guy, Nvidia FP, Applied Deep Learning, so the DLSS guy, Brian Cantazaro. Yeah. These people are just trying to sell you that resolution, at native resolutions are dead, and basically the statement is in response to a question for Vlad regarding DLSS, whether Nvidia plan to prioritize native resolution performance GPU. Cantazaro responded out that improving graphics fidelity through sheer brute force is no longer an ideal solution due to the fact that Moore law is dead. This is their statement, kind of a mantra here. For them to justify to sell you like technologies, and by extent selling you GPUs from them, because only them have this kind of good technology that is going to perform better than native resolution. And of course the fact that they are investing basically everything they have in AI, which DLSS is basically on AI upscaling, AI, basically machine learning. And yeah, basically that is my main takeaway here, because the fact that and it's also a justification for them to not spend more on R&D to a certain degree to upgrade the hardware per se. So the hardware will have like how do I say it? Oh my god, generation uplift in terms of performance will be reduced, but because the technology will be able to leverage, so the DLSS, whatever version it will be or whatever name they will give it, it will the software will be able to leverage the hardware even better, similar like kind of iPhones to a certain degree, and they will sell you to tell you that is the best thing in the world, even though this is their plan. Of course, this is not what's happening to a certain degree, because there is still a lot of juice to squeeze out of this fruit of which from hardware GPUs. It's for them not to spend that much money in R&D, and of course the smaller the nanometer scale and everything, the more smaller it gets, more expensive to manufacture, and to a certain degree that price is always going to be reflected on the consumer side. But yeah, this kind of justification for them to leverage their profits, basically. When you say that Murloy is dead, you've been saying this a lot, and everybody else said not quite that. This is not a statement that you should be making, because we still have a lot to leverage out of in terms of hardware, and how Murloy principle is basically working still. Not in like to, but it's still working. But it's not dead. And the fact that if other GPUs can, manufacturers and chip manufacturers can sustain Murloy is dead and maintain relatively kind of normal pricing to a certain degree, because the prices were, especially from GPU, they ramp up a lot more because of Nvidia, and how they told you with the Murloy is dead. Now we have because this GPUs, the 4090s and the 4080s, they are very expensive to manufacture, but we managed to take leverage of the DLSS technology for you to have fake frame rates also. But yeah, if you are able to put software to take advantage of the hardware to upscale, you should have also or refine the technology that you have for the native resolutions. For example, RT, not to be mainly not to be that I don't know, hardware intensive, maybe. It's an idea here. But yeah, when asked about the future of machine learning in gaming graphics, said that this guy Cantazaro, DLSS AI will eventually be able to replace traditional rendering and tiring. Maybe in like, I don't know how many years, but I don't think this is going to. If this is going to happen, it will take a long time. Yeah, this is just like gaslighting to a certain degree, because I don't think that DLSS it's to a certain degree like better than native resolution. Mainly because what they do with DLSS, they don't just put DLSS, they put DLSS plus more techniques of trying to sharpening and everything. And when they tell you DLSS, when the game takes advantage, they will put some RT effects there. And when they usually compare with native resolution, I think usually they don't even compare it with RT turned on. I'm not sure, depending on the kind of marketing they are trying to pull off. That's why you don't ever trust these companies' marketing and the corporate speak. You try to get like an independent Digital Foundry. Usually it's very good on these kind of things of analyzing like technologies and hardware. Usually pretty good. Gamers Nexus also does some good reviews, but usually Digital Foundry focus more in depth certain kind of things like DLSS technology, exploring several games. or at least one game, if how the technology is behaving, even in the background, like the stuttering stuff and everything in terms of performance, if it compensates or not. Even Hardware Unbox also sometimes do some analysis on that one, on these kind of things. But yeah, don't ever trust what any corporation tells you, being Nvidia, AMD, Intel, whatever. They just want to sell you stuff. And they want to sell you as expensive as they can without spending any money, so you get screwed, you get a shitty product, doesn't worth a lot, and it's expensive like hell. This basically it's what the aim is in the overall scheme of things. But yeah, I need to see the discussion video, but by the fact that it started, that they usually try to justify the Murwa is dead, for me is it's a little bit tricky to want to spend time to hear like some corporate speak and marketing mumbo jumbo. But yeah, it is what it is. Finally, we got an article from Vampires: The Bloodlines 2. Like the main, there was the developer blogs regarding the game, and one of those is trying to get the message of what the main aim, which is basically the focus of the game, including acting out vampire fantasy and allowing for more RPG agency. Vampire fantasy can be interpreted in many ways, and allowing for more RPG agency. I don't know what they're talking about here. I don't know what they mean with that. But at least it's an overall kind of a throughout message they want to try out, to pass out to the persons. And basically the game will be focusing on things that only a vampire could do. So it's more like trying to be like an immersive sim RPG for vampires to a certain degree. As the game stems from tabletop based on the world of darkness, the developer wants to give players greater immersion, a world where you could believe that there are blood-sucking monsters lurking in the dark. Not only are there vampires, but you are playing as one. And supposedly they are teasing a good balance between role-playing game and adventure story. And yeah, referring to early stage of development, because this game has passed through at least 2 or 3 studios, I think, and it was cancelled and then not, and then revived, and now it's finally in development. The company of developer comparing it to the gameplay of Dishonored, but not quite matching the idea of vampires. Instead, they wanted the Kindred, but I think it's like a person turned into a vampire. I think that's they called Kindred in the lore, to feel like they were stalking their prey and to commit to actions without fear. One thing vampires know how to know is to play with their food, which is even how testers of the game have described Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodline 2. So suppose there is some testing going on also. Of course, there always some Q&A testing with everything they do. Supposedly this is kind of the feel that you are a vampire and you play with the food, all that good stuff with the vampire, but we know what usually vampires supposedly do, because we don't have vampires in our world. But yeah, you get what I mean. Seems to be let's see, but it seems to be on a good path here. And yeah, basically for the news this is it. I'm just going to wrap up with some gaming deals still. We got Slay the Spire 66% off till the 23rd, so around 2 days. Again, roguelike deck builder kind of a game here. I think this one is basically one that revamp again this kind of style of gameplay, because it's very good. Also we got Wall World, it's still on the deal here, and you got some new DLC stuff here, which is the Wall World Complete. Yeah, Deep Threat, which is like the DLC of continuation of story, more upgrades and everything. This game seems pretty good. It's like got the road light, some mining thing here, gameplay. Got also some tower defense when the wave stuff between the mining stuff. You got some like boss battles. Seems pretty good. I watched some videos. I just on wishlist it. I put it on my wishlist, and I just hoping to, when I have like more time, I will buy the game, because it's a cheap game. And I will try out to see how it goes. Also we got Resident Evil 4. The DLC supposedly came out, or is basically coming out, but yeah, it's 44% off the base game. The deluxe version, like 48, which is with all the DLCs, these little packs here and there, separate ways, 9.99. Okay. But yeah, again, this is overwhelmingly positive. It's an excellent remake of the game. It removes some of the things that were kind of a little bit annoying in the game and improve them. And of course, the graphics, the gameplay is like way more improved. They've been doing a very good job with the remakes here on Resident Evil. I think that it's well worth it to play the remakes because the story maintains the same. This combat with the Cornell, whatever it is, I think it's way more improved the way you should handle the combat because it's not quick time events. Yeah, I think they removed basically almost all, and even taking care of this girl, the daughter's president. I think is very improved on how you can deal with her. Also, we got, of course, I will leave all the Resident Evil games. They are all discounted with this Tokyo Game Show sale here. And yeah, we got also Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. Again, 60% off, $14. Yeah, they got the deluxe edition. You got the DLC, $20. I think this is a good game. Some variation of like the XCOM kind of style game here. And yeah, it's not a very long game, but it's a very high quality game here for an indie developer, the Beer Ladies. We don't have the Miasma Chronicles on a deal here because it's not the same publisher. From the first game it was Funcom, and this one Miasma Chronicle, which is kind of the same inline in terms of gameplay, but with a different story. It's from other the publisher. Sorry, the developer is the same. We got also lastly the Cyberpunk. It's on promotion because of the Phantom Liberty. You can get the base game plus the DLC for the price of the full game, basically, so $60. So yeah, it's one of those. And again, it's got very positive, from 80 to 90, and you can see that throughout time they've been improving a lot, not only like graphic-wise, but in terms of performance and features and everything. But yeah, this is what I have for today. I'm just going to wrap up with my plug on my Patreon. Got one tier. This is basically just to help out with extra stuff here. Mainly my main urgency per se is storage, which is like backups of my work stuff that I do for my private clients, and also some storage for the recording, backup for the recordings and everything, to keep everything safe and secure. And yeah, basically that's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.